Hello everybody and welcome back to more political chatter. In this video, we will be talking about the biggest surprises of the 2022 midterm elections, and I decided to do this video today. I could have done it a lot earlier, but today, after a recount in Colorado's 3rd Congressional District, Lauren Boebert is the projected winner in Colorado's 3rd District House race on December 13th. She only won by 500 votes, just 500 votes, an excruciatingly close race. She fended off a challenge by Adam Frisch, endorsed by the Forward Party. So this map anyway, basically with that win, we know the outcome of every single Senate race. Not just every single Senate race. Every single race of the midterm elections has been called today. So this officially marks the very end of the midterm elections on December 13th, about a month later. Disregard this site and their characterization of Georgia as they still have it in the runoff column. The runoff has occurred. Raphael Warnock has won the race here by 3%. Democrats have not 50 but 51 seats in the Senate. Republicans have 49. Democrats gained 1 seat. Republicans lost 1 seat. In the House, the Republicans gained 19 seats. They gained a total of 13 seats, and on the gubernatorial level, I believe there was a net gain of 0. I believe that doesn't really make sense though. We'll get to it though. This map might be off. I hate this map, but it's kind of useful. Okay, so now we'll actually get into this video. What were the biggest surprises of the midterm elections? And we'll start with the Senate elections because they are the most important. One big surprise, the biggest surprise of the Senate elections was Pennsylvania. Look, I, of course, didn't rule out John Fetterman winning. You can never rule out somebody winning in the state of Pennsylvania, as it is such a swing state. I personally thought that Mehmet Oz would win, and I thought it'd be by less than a percentage point. But now after Election Day, John Fetterman has won by 5%, 4.9%. That is so close to being a likely margin, which is absolutely insane. No one in any universe expected John Fetterman to win by 5. There were a lot of people who said that Fetterman was going to win, and of course that was totally reasonable. But by 5, I would have thought this person is insane if they said Fetterman would win by 5, and no one thought Fetterman would win by 5. This is a result of Donald Trump. Oz and Mastriano are both endorsees of him. You more so see it, and we're going to get to it, so I really won't go into it. But Trump was even more advocating for Doug Mastriano, the gubernatorial candidate. Mastriano lost by a lot more than Oz, but ultimately I do think that Trump cost them the state of Pennsylvania. And looking at 2024 presidential, if Trump is the nominee, I don't see Pennsylvania going to him. Whether it be Biden, if Harris is the Dem, I think that it's very well in play, and that should probably win it. So Pennsylvania was the biggest surprise, I believe. New Hampshire, I won't go into it much, but Maggie Hassan won by 9. A lot of people thought that this would be an extremely narrow race for Maggie Hassan. In the days leading up to Election Day, the weeks leading up to Election Day, Don Bolduc really stepped up his game, or so it was thought. But looking at Maggie Hassan's margin here, nope, Don Bolduc was not a good candidate, and Maggie Hassan easily won that race there in New Hampshire. Another big surprise in the state of Nevada. I was wrong in two races. I thought that Dr. Oz would win in Pennsylvania, and the other race I was wrong on was the state of Nevada, which I thought would go to Adam Laxalt. I was wrong on a net of 2 seats. And Catherine Cortez Masto has won her Nevada Senate seat by 0.8%, just 8,000 votes. A very narrow win for Catherine Cortez Masto. Of course, I thought that this was possible, but it was extremely unlikely. But I mean, if we're just talking about surprises, I would have expected Cortez Masto to win by 0.8 way before I thought that Fetterman would win by 5. That margin in Pennsylvania. It's not so much that Fetterman won, but it's more so his margin. I guess you could. Of course, I did expect Mark Kelly to win. The days leading up to election day, I believe it was Trafalgar, who put out a poll saying that Blake Masters had an edge over Mark Kelly. And in the 3 days before election day, everyone, and I mean everyone, was saying Blake Masters is going to win this race. He's going to flip the seat. He's going to pull out an upset. And I stood by my prediction. I never thought that Blake Masters had a chance. Mark Kelly won by 5% in Arizona. I believe the exact same margin as John Fetterman did, 4.9%. Big win for Mark Kelly in Arizona, but it was expected that he would win. Surprise in the state of Wisconsin, Ron Johnson only won by 1%. I thought that the margin would be a little bit more. And then there's the state of Connecticut, and I won't talk about this too much, but I do want to talk about it because I live in Connecticut. And this one is important to me. Okay, in 2018, there was an outgoing Democratic governor, Dan Malloy, who was extremely unpopular. Taxes were incredibly high, crime was up, and his approval ratings were extremely underwater. Literally everyone hated it, so much so that Ned Lamont, the candidate for governor, the Democrat in 2018, said in the debates that he gave Malloy an F as governor. That was the rating that he gave him. Someone of his own party. That's how much he was hated. Because of that, Republicans had a very good shot at picking up this gubernatorial seat in 2018. So, Bob Stefanowski runs as the Republican. Ned Lamont runs as the Democrat. Lamont wins by 3%. Going to 2022, Lamont is very much approved of as governor. People like him here, and he won by 13. That I was expecting it to be a little less, but looking at everything else, that's very reasonable for him to shift the state 10 points to the right on the gubernatorial level. But what's so shocking and shows that Connecticut is shifting so much to the right, and this is the first sign that it's shifting to the right, is 2022, the Senate election. Richard Blumenthal, who has won his 3rd term, so he's been in there for 12 years now, running for another 6-year term, won by only he won by only 15%. Exactly 15%. Now, this might not seem all that insane, but you have to remember, voters are so much more partisan on the Senate level. And Leora Levy, the Republican, was so much more extreme than Bob Stefanowski. Bob Stefanowski should have been 10 points more electable than Leora Levy, but he proved to be only 3 points more electable than Leora Levy. So, that was a big surprise, and it's the first sign that Connecticut is shifting to the right. Going to the House elections, I won't talk about this too much, but where should we go? There were so many things that I didn't expect to happen. Number one, Democrats somehow flip New Mexico second. That's a big shocker. Colorado's third. Lauren Boebert wins by 500 votes. Absolutely insane. And then there's New York. The gubernatorial, Kathy Hochul weighs down everyone in New York so much. Republicans flipped the 19th district. The Democrats should have been able to hang on to that one. In the 17th district, Sean Patrick Maloney should not have lost this election. He is in such a power position, And Kathy Hochul weighed him down so much, and she is to blame. The 4th District, Republicans flipped this one because of Kathy Hochul. The 3rd District, Republicans flipped this one. The Republicans won the House of Representatives because of Kathy Hochul, because of the state of New York. Many shockers in New York there. I won't even talk about that because that makes me too sad. Somehow, this one of the biggest surprises to me, and the 8th District for that matter. More so the 8th District. The 7th District I thought would go to the Republicans by less than a point. Alyssa Slotkin wins by 5. The 8th District, I thought that Daniel Kennedy, the Democrat, would win by less than 1%. The margin here is insane. Kennedy wins by 11. Susan Wild, I thought, would lose by a tilt margin. She won by 2, so I wasn't too much off on that one. Matt Cartwright, I always knew would win, even when everyone said he wouldn't. I knew he would win. Marcy Kaptur, I believe I had her winning in my final prediction. Won by a shocking margin of 13%. She did so much better than in 2020. Stephen Horsford won by 5, big margin for him. Susie Lee and Dina Titus all hung on. And then that's mostly the biggest shockers. I don't see too many. Oh, the 13th District, Riley Hickel won also. Going to the gubernatorial side. Let's see. There was okay, I forgot about it. Okay. So there were 4 flips. Massachusetts and Maryland, of course, were expected because they have outgoing Republican governors. And then Arizona was a big shock. And that just shows you how unpopular Trump is across the country. That Trump ally Kari Lake lost by 0.9% to an absolutely horrible candidate who refused to debate. Katie Hobbs was a pathetic candidate for the Democratic Party, but Kari Lake proved to be even more competitive. Katie Hobbs wins by 1,700 votes. 17,000 votes, sorry. In the state of Nevada, Republicans flipped this one, so there were like a net gain of 0 seats for each party. This was expected. I thought that this would be a 3-point race for Joe Lombardo. Proved to be around 2%. I was mostly spot on the state of Nevada. Kotek ends up winning by 4. That was a surprise to me. Well, more like 3.5. I wasn't too far off, but I did have Christine Drazan winning on Election Day. I was wrong on that one. The margin for Whitmer is absolutely insane, 11%. I always knew that she would win. But the margin for Josh Shapiro is absolutely gigantic. 15% margin for Josh Shapiro. He defeated Trump ally Doug Mastriano in a gigantic blowout. Connecticut, as I talked about, 13 points. Wisconsin, I was 6 points wrong on. I thought that Tim Michels would win by 3%. Tony Evers won by 3%. I'm surprised by that. And there was a lot of ticket splitting in the state of Wisconsin. And looking at how Ron Johnson did, I would have thought that Michels would at least make it a bit closer. I thought that Tim Michels was one of the few Trump-endorsed candidates that were good. I thought that there were 3 Trump-endorsed candidates that were good. Adam Laxalt, Ted Budd, Tim Michels. Only one ended up winning, that being Ted Budd. Tim Michels, I thought, was a good candidate for Wisconsin as a business owner. But Trump's appeal, or the Trump effect, proved to be critical. Kansas, many people thought that Laura Kelly was the most vulnerable incumbent heading into Election Day. She won by 2. That was a surprise to me. That's going to be it. So, that's basically it. So, thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you all